Hello, if you're watching this, you must be interested in taking our Art and Design A-level that we offer at West Coast Sixth Form. It's a really exciting course that helps you develop a wide range of art skills in both 2 and 3 dimensions. We cover a massive range of techniques, and I'm hoping that this PowerPoint will show you what we can offer. 60% of your final mark is made up of your coursework, which is called Component 1. The coursework helps you build a portfolio and develop your skills and a whole bunch of techniques. We do printing and ceramics, we do some graphics and photography, sculpture, drawing and painting, and a whole range of other things. We try to make sure that you take part in exhibitions and competitions and that you use the space and the materials well. Your coursework is led by your personal investigation, which gives you freedom to direct your own study. You would submit one major project of personal significance, supported by a 3,000-word essay that explains your choice. Some people can be daunted by that. The essay is not anything to be scared of. We help you with it. It's done in small stages, and it will be finished before you finished year 12. You get lots of help on that part. The externally set task is 40% of the grade. This is called Component 2. It's the one that feels a little bit more like an exam. For this one, you get a range of starting points. It's usually 7 to choose from, and the questions are quite varied. So again, you can direct it almost any way that you like to. You're given about 6 weeks to prepare for it, and you have 15 hours, which is spread over 3 days in the art rooms in your own studio space to make a final piece that you've practiced. So it's very similar to the GCSE exam, which you may or may not have done, but it's over 3 days instead of 2. We like to do a lot of enrichment visits, and we go to Newcastle an awful lot, to the Baltic Art Gallery. We've got quite a lot of connections there. Bigger trips we've had before are a New York one. We took 57 students to New York. We go to Alton Towers. We go to Glasgow quite regularly. These visits are to help you see artwork outside of the classroom and to experience different things. So you've got a greater breadth of experience for writing your personal study, and so you know what you might want to explore. Teaching and learning in art is something that we're very good at. We follow this process you can see on the right side of the screen just now. So we start with a topic, we move on to artists, then you make a range of samples and designs, a final piece which you then evaluate. Sometimes you'll go back again and make a second final piece from more designs, and you'll keep going back and changing it. This helps you review and refine, helps you solve problems. We have a lot of group crits where you speak to each other about your work, and it develops a whole load of other skills. So if you're considering this course and not for a creative career, it does cover a lot of personal learning and thinking skills that will help you in whatever aspect you want to study next. So it's really good for building UCAS points. Our team is a lovely team. We've got myself, I specialise in textiles and ceramics, I'm head of faculty. Miss Milligan is a painter and a shoe designer. Miss Kirkwood's a fine artist, a sculptor, a printing specialist, and we have a technician who's good at many things. The sixth form art students have got a brilliant workspace. It doubles as a studio in their own time. Every student gets a desk and a board to put their work on too, so you don't have to tidy up every lesson. You can leave your stuff out and you can see your progress and your portfolio build. We've got loads of ceramic facilities. We've got loads of sewing facilities. We have a dark room, and we use Photoshop quite often, and there are lots of other digital software programs that we use daily. So it's very well-rounded faculty. If you are interested in doing something creative when you finish sixth form or going on to university, there are thousands of careers that will value art as an education, and ones that surround creative industries and ones that are fully in it. One of the most common ideas is you would become an artist. This can be tricky to get started with funding and different stuff, but there's ways to do it. You do it by entering competitions that you find and commissions through artist network sites. We would direct you to these. You exhibit your own work and build a reputation for yourself as a contemporary artists in whatever field you want. So you make sure that you make connections and that you subscribe to the right things. You can work in a gallery. I've got a link I can show you later on that shows you all the different people who are employed at the Baltic Mill in Newcastle. That's just one gallery and they employ an awful lot of staff. Gallery work is so varied. It can include everything from being a historian to a critic to restoring dresses or paintings or ceramics. There's even people in charge of storage and putting together educational packages for schools. You can work in the fashion industry. Sometimes it's not just designing and making the fabrics and the clothes that are part of the industry. There's also set design and photographers and buyers for high street shops. The film industry is growing in the UK. There's been lots of drive to build it. There's been like tax breaks for big companies that can prove that they've got British movies. You might have seen some British streets in some movies that you've seen recently. But the movie industry is massive, and if you look at the credits at the end of a film, you'll see all of the people involved in the art side of things. The music industry is the same. The more it moves online, the more visual stimuli you need when you're watching it, so videos and costumes and editors. The media industry is another massive industry that's big in the UK. There's a big games design company up in Edinburgh that's always employing. You've got toy manufacturers and web page editors, digital graphic design things. The marketing industry is massive. And again, this is another industry that's coping well during the pandemic and during other times. It's people who do advertising for all sorts of different stuff. And you'll have seen tons of adverts recently that link brands together. Some people even brand themselves. So it's quite a huge thing to get into. Architecture is quite a common career path, and for some of our students, they go on to study architecture after their A-levels. Architecture is everything from designing world-famous buildings and state-of-the-art facilities that are good to live in or work in, right down to town planning. So if you think about everything you can see around you, someone spent time designing that, they probably have some kind of art degree. You can be a writer. So we do the 3,000 word essay. If you are keen on writing, that can be the bulk of your grade, your essay. You can go on to be any sort of professor or researcher. You can be a curator or a critic or a historian. Art really does help you to travel the world. If you are going to do something creative, it helps you problem solve. If I click on this link just now, this is one gallery we were talking about. These are all of the people who are employed in this gallery. You can see there is quite a lot. I'd like to point out that none of these people are the artists that actually exhibit the work. So as well as this big list, there is a massive ton of other people. I'm going to pause this video now and start the other half of the PowerPoint, where you go through a little task for today's lesson.